back on and see what I can come up with and try to get some more groups involved.
Okay.
I will revise the letter to update it to reflect current dates. So if we come up with new groups that need a letter sent to them, we'll have that.
Okay.
July 15th, I believe, was our deadline that we wanted to have people respond.
Okay.
So they could reserve their spots. I do know that Women's Work is going to bring a tent and a lot of literature and things like that. So they were very excited about it. They were on it just like that.
That's great.
So,
Is this their first year of being in it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
that's great.
So,
It's out of
Shauna,
country.
we're doing a Marine we have filtered in on all this. This is called Club Affair. This will be our third time of doing it over the years, and it's to introduce the community to different clubs in the community and organizations and groups they can belong to. And it's also a kind of a fundraiser then for Callahan House. And instead of naming a fee that we have to have for them to rent the space in the house or in the gardens or whatever, we're requesting a minimum donation of $50. So they can donate more if they choose to, or less if that's their budget or whatever. So, but yeah, we've got, like I said, at least 5 groups that are definitely wanting to pursue this. But we need more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we need at least double that. We'll do that.
And Brittany was gonna look into food trucks.
Yeah, she has some thoughts here on that.
Okay,
And
cool.
she and I met before she left, and she kind of told me she's struggling. She's reached out to a bunch of different food trucks with either no response or unavailability. She is finding that with a food truck, you have to reach a minimum sales guarantee, and it's about $1,500. So
Wow.
if they don't get that in the business, then
It's not worth it.
we are responsible to then pay them the supplemental. She said it sounds like that would be fine for Art Walk, that the amount of people coming through Art Walk, you'd reach that fee, but maybe not with Club Fair. So she just wanted to put that out there to you guys, that that's kind of where she's
I'm
finding.
even concerned on Art Walk if we had had the numbers to cover that cost.
I think it would depend on the food truck and the time and
I
where
know
other
a
people
lot
were
of
getting their food at that point.
considerations.
Yeah, because there's other places on Union Street.
Right.
So, she
Okay.
just,
Yeah.
That's
That's
something that we should consider in terms of if we don't go that direction. We talked about having refreshments,
Just light refreshments.
right, light refreshments, yeah.
Like we did in the past.
I think,
Right.
I think that's
For
kind
me,
of where we're gonna end up
Plan
going.
B.
That's just some expense that I don't think we can
No, no. This is a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Pardon?
And again, I had a quick question though. If I'm gonna be reaching out to the Latino community, do we want to put the letters in Spanish?
Well, that would probably be a good idea.
Do you think we should do that?
Do we have city?
Yep.
With doing that? Okay, I'll update the letter. I'm gonna go home right away. And then send it to Brittany or?
Yeah.
you can send it to me, because Brittany's out until first, till
Okay,
tomorrow, so yeah.
I'm sure I have your info in.
I can leave it for you, just to be sure.
Okay.
And then could you shoot it to me so that I can take it?
Yeah.
Just hand walk it.
Thank you. That's a good thought.
So we're approaching people and they're feeling like
Right,
we're reading on their
right,
terms.
exactly.
So hopefully we could get some more involvement that way. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
The Women's Work was the other group. I said that already. AUW,
Oh, good.
University Women in Colorado Mountain Group.
Good.
I spoke with Questers and they're going to be involved, but Connie was just moving.
Oh.
She just moved into her house.
Oh.
A week ago. So.
Distracted.
We can get it on board, but yeah.
Okay.
And Brittany also has noted here that she's sent in a request for a flyer from Citywide Comms. She did it on May 22nd, and as of 6/3, Rachel was working on it, but she didn't have one to share yet.
So those will be flyers that we can take around town
so.
and ask people from their windows and on bulletin boards and
Yes.
And to our friends.
That we're looking to
And she may have one in her inbox. So.
Very nice.
Their version of it.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
she's
right.
And I was just introduced last night to the new communications director. So that position's been filled, so that might make things easier in the future for some of the
Great.
communications.
Okay, excellent. Anything else on club affair at this point? Okay, let's move on to club selection criteria. We had that pretty much put together, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't know. All the notes she has here were just what we discussed last time.
right.
No,
So there's
changes. So I
no,
think we were.
we're about ready to go with that. Okay, excellent. Which leads us right directly to the club survey. I don't know who's working on the club survey.
Was that the meet? You guys had the meeting after?
It was Karen.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was Karen.
Okay.
Well, let's table that. It's nothing we're gonna do anything about this is a survey for the club to see how they're using the house and what we can do to make it better, easier, that kind of thing.
I believe we had hoped to have it approved at this meeting, but without Karen here, I
Right,
don't.
no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going there
Right, and I think it was a survey that was going to be used for the new
as well.
clubs because we've already surveyed those
Past clubs.
Right,
So it was to be used for the new clubs and also to be looked at that we would do at a future date.
yeah, so it's not,
2-year period out.
Right.
right, exactly,
and we pared it way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One page, I think we got.
Yeah.
yeah, which is great.
Which is,
That makes
Much
people
simpler.
will maybe actually fill it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Can I
anything
go,
else?
I'm so sorry. Can I
Yeah.
go back to club affair? I want
Yes.
to make sure I'm doing a good job of
You
doing
are.
it for Brittany. Have you guys seen how the club affair, how clubs are signing up?
Have we what?
Like seeing the Brittany, how they're registering for club affair.
From what I understand, they were calling her.
They can call her. There's also a link, like a way to sign up online. She and I put that together, and it's active through like our recreation
Through rec?
registration. It's on the same page that they would search to do a Callahan House donation or
Okay.
purchase a recreation gift card. So when they fill it out, it's formalized that it's their club, the contact information, and then it's a freestanding question of what would you like in your setup, or are you requesting anything for setup? And they can make a payment right there. If they want to pay cash or cash or check, then they would contact Brittany, and all of her information is in the link. I can share this with the group.
Yes,
Do we
yes,
know
would
if
you
he has
please-
any
okay.
responses yet?
Yes, would be, yes is the answer.
I'm assuming that, I mean, she had 5, so I'm assuming those are the 5 you knew about.
Oh,
But I can send the link to the page where at least you would select
Right,
where to go.
okay.
that's great.
So there's a couple different options.
I think this might be great if I get more people that are used to a little more technology. I do know that questions probably won't.
Right,
And,
no,
and I think inherently there will be plenty of clubs who just contact her
I love
anyways.
them,
yeah, but they're a little older
Their
generation.
technology.
Yeah, it's
They're-
generational.
but a little more set in their ways.
Yeah.
So the revised letter, should that link be included in the new?
I would think so.
That's a good suggestion.
That's a great suggestion.
And in that registration, it allows the person who's signing up to pick the dollar amount.
Okay.
So whether they want,
Nice.
it says that we are suggesting 50, but they can make it 0 or they can make it 100 if that's
Okay.
it's very flexible.
They can send us 1,000, it would be fine. Okay.
Then we can get a food truck.
Yeah.
we can get a food truck in all of it.
I'll be making them.
Okay, I apologize for
Oh,
jumping.
no, thank
No,
you, Griffin, I appreciate that.
We just need to get more groups participating. We
Right.
really do. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 is not near enough.
Not enough.
We've got, it's in October, no,
No, it's in August.
it's August.
Okay,
Okay.
August
It's in August. The
17th.
deadline was supposed to be like July 15th to get back, but it's time to check them out. Okay,
Yeah.
remind them.
I think it's the 17th, isn't it the 17th?
Yes.
I think it's
Of
the
August,
17th
yes.
of August.
Yes.
Okay,
And they've received snail mail and they've received emails of the letter. So there were very few that I could not reach
Okay.
with the emails.
Okay.
Have we gotten no responses that no mayor can be involved?
I've gotten one. I can't remember what the group was. Oh, it was League of Women, Boulder County League of Women Voters.
Oh,
Well, good that
Oh,
they at
that's a
least
surprise.
responded and.
They did respond,
yeah.
but this time they didn't have enough people to man the booth. I think was the reason.
Counterintuitive,
Yeah,
do that.
It's counterintuitive.
People.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Oh, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
Might reach out to
To
them
their own.
anyway.
Alrighty.
Okay, anything else on those that we kind of,
I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to rush through these,
No.
I just,
No, it's just my fault. I thought of something at the last minute, so.
that's quite
We're-
all right.
So where are we at?
We are down to patrons program.
Okay. Again, I know that I've been working on that with Karen and with Cindy, and I thought we were to the point that we could approve that and move that off, but I will not do that without Karen here. I don't feel comfortable.
So there's the program outline and then there's an invite letter that I'm gonna draft before our July committee meeting so that you guys can look at it.
Do you have a committee meeting set up for July then?
I think Karen was gonna set one up. I don't have
anything
it
on
on
your
my
calendar.
calendar.
I have nothing on my calendar
Okay.
either.
Something to check with Karen. Okay, that patron program, Sean, just for you, it's like Friends of the Library.
Right.
It's patrons of the Callahan House.
No, I see that. I was gonna try to figure out where the best place is. It's not the spot, I think, to talk about what we heard from Sarah Leonard from Visit Longmont, but it might be during your items from the board. But it seems like maybe that's another way of getting people to look at what you have to offer here. People that are coming in to visit and the people that are here that they're visiting, all of a sudden realize, oh my goodness, this is a great fit. So I don't know if that's why I mentioned it here at your patrons program.
Okay, all right, that's something to tuck away.
And I'll explain more about it.
Okay, when we get there. All right, sounds good.
So
anything
just
else?
for notes for Brittany,
Yeah,
will you guys plan to set up that meeting before?
Yes, I'll contact Karen and we'll work it out. You and Cindy and Maureen.
Yes, please.
Okay, let's move on to the Auto House revamp. Brittany might have something to say about that.
Yeah.
Did she leave you?
Her
a
notes
note?
say that the preference is to have a new storage east of the back door. The garden shed can be moved for repointing without needing to be permanently moved. Interior auto house storage quoted at $10,000. So it's again, these are her like really
Right.
short little notes.
Right, exactly.
But she and I
That's
walked
really
around
good.
outside the other day and we're just looking at kind of what would be the best option. And it sounds, like she said, it sounds like we could move that for the work that needs to be done, but since it happens so infrequently that it would behoove us to leave that there and build a new shed on the pavement patio to support the storage of the tables and chairs without doing the auto house whole thing.
Which
with all that.
is, I think when we walked through it, we had talked about that we really didn't feel comfortable putting it within the auto house itself because it limited your space amount.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just the ice machine, just.
Okay.
It really ate into the space.
Yes,
It really
sure.
ate into the space, and with that additional cost amount, I think we'd be, in the long haul, be better to put it in that space that we have available,
Right.
on the patio and have ease of getting things in and out. I think that's a better option.
And
The
personally,
10,000 would have been if it were inside the auto house.
We were remodeling the auto house to
Oh,
accommodate.
okay.
yeah, the interior. Yeah.
My guess on doing it outside, did you guys look into that? Because I would think it'd
We had
probably be 6 or 7.
To get a, yeah,
Just
the
based
shed will
on
still
what
have to
we
be
just
pretty
did.
big.
What we just did at Union with
Okay,
the lifeguard, having sheds built there.
Okay.
We'll test it working on
okay, well, it's still less than
it.
10.
Obviously,
Right, it's less than 10.
Aesthetic is our.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the
Yeah.
key here, yeah.
And we were looking at it, it is kind of still tucked away, because my concern was if it was gonna be in the way of like photos and things, but with all the greenery, you can't really see it, so.
Right where we're looking at,
Mhm.
possibly even moving the other shed, I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
Okay, so I'll let her know that she can kind of start exploring some options. for-
And the other thing that I thought was wise, and again, this is just my personal opinion, but with the concrete already there, we don't have to put additional walkways or padding. We're worried about that we're gonna be destroying
Right.
grassways or piping or something along those lines, so.
It seems like a relatively simple solution to it, really, and maybe less expensive. Of course, my mind goes immediately to Home Depot. They have those little sheds, you know?
They do.
I don't
Make
know,
sure we
whatever,
get that done.
whatever, okay.
Well, that, and if you've ever driven by 66 and Main Street constantly on that corner, there's
Oh, yeah, isn't that true?
Was the one at Union like built
That's
by
funny.
city employees?
No,
Or it was like,
contractors.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, okay, good,
So that's, at least we've got a model there to look at.
yeah,
okay.
excellent,
Molly had worked.
Yeah.
So.
got a cheat sheet.
And I think the question might go to, if we go ahead that direction, not immediately, but
No.
the auto house inside, do we want to do anything in there as far, I mean, the storage that's in there is not like original stuff. It's not pretty. I don't know how much purpose it serves right now, especially if we're going this direction. So it's just something maybe a little bit down the road, we can talk about it. You know, is there something else we want to do in there to make that just a more appealing place?
I think that was one of
Good
the
idea.
discussion points, that possibly just removing it, because
Yeah.
it's non-functional the
Could
way
be
it
as simple as
is.
that.
Not really
And
quite.
it's not original
Update
to
the
the
wall
building,
line.
and
Yeah.
update it
Yeah, some
and
work
update
needs
the wall,
to be
so
done.
it's a more usable space,
Right,
period.
yeah,
And if it's just that, then that's great. But
I think
that
I
will
think
cost
that
us.
was one of the discussions that we went in there, and you know, it is not a good looking area.
it's really not all that
And-
pretty.
And if it's not being used,
Then maybe we eliminate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you say, make it a more welcoming, comfortable spot
Yeah.
to have meetings and things. Okay, anything else on that, anybody? We're gonna move right down to the past and present fall, the board tea, fall tea.
again, Karen took the lead on that.
She did.
She handles the invitations and everything.
She does.
The last we discussed is that we would all pitch in with doing the food for the presentation. I had, when we last met, I had tracked down a professional musician to possibly that would donate his time, and he goes all over the place and does concerts. And he would be willing to donate his time to play and do a recital on the piano, on the new piano. Now, the big issue, he is a professional musician. He doesn't want to do background music, and I understand that. He would like to do a presentation. So if we're gonna do that, that would be eating into the tea. That's something that I think we're still in discussion point, that
Yeah,
we don't wanna eat too much into the tea. I mean, is it
right.
something that we could all have refreshments and sit down and listen to the music program and then go from that? I'm not sure. We're still up in the air.
Yeah,
But the fact that he was willing to donate his fee, and he already works well with the person that already does the pianos, Fred, and I'm sorry I'm blanking on his last name, that restores the piano. So
Fred, we all know Fred.
that's all I know.
Okay. Well, it's out there a little ways. We don't have to make that decision today.
And maybe
It's
like
pretty soon.
how long you would want to perform for. Is it
Right.
5 to 7 minutes or is it
Right, it's
20
at 20 minutes, right.
Probably 20.
So
It's
Yeah,
probably more like
that's-
dirty. I mean, and he, like
It's
I
like a
said,
house concert type of situation.
Okay.
and he also, I mean,
So here's a thought. If he's willing to donate his time like that, maybe at some future date, that could be a fundraiser kind of thing.
That's exactly where I'm going with
People
that.
could be invited to
Come and listen.
come and listen.
As opposed to the tea.
And I mean, and he's,
That's really where it's at. When you look at it, you don't just go to clubs, you go to your friend groups and invite them in and maybe has some wine, and that's what many of the, like when Maureen ran the Longmont Council of the Arts, they would have house concerts, and we had concerts at the guy that owned the Leaning Tree, his house.
Yeah, yeah.
He had all that Western stuff. When you went into his house, he didn't have any of the Western stuff. He had all European art, right?
oh, from floor to ceiling.
Off
so
the
it's
charts.
beautiful.
I mean,
Wow,
$10,000 paintings.
wow.
So
Some type of like mini concert at Callahan or something.
I think that would be a great
That's something
idea.
to put out there on the,
maybe to kick off the patrons.
That might be a great idea.
that's
He wanted to know, to settle on the date, and he is, I know him through his wife through Questers, and I mean, he's just, but, the fact that he'd be willing to donate it to the Callahan House because the Questers use it all and other things, I think we just might need to tweak it for a different event. Would be better.
He's a piano player.
He is a pianist and a concert pianist, and he has albums, and he travels all over.
So
wow.
we can remember what
That's-
kind of music it was.
When you set up that committee meeting to talk about the patrons, maybe revisit this in that conversation.
Absolutely,
See how that-
kind of see if
Yeah.
anything.
But I'm glad you guys are kind of in the same, that's so
Well,
generous,
that's,
and I
yeah,
don't want to snub him, but,
Right.
but it would
how's
be
this gonna
better
work?
served, I think, in the
Yeah.
other
What's his
functions.
name again?
I'm sorry. I'm terrible at names. Fred.
Yeah.
I can get you his
Fred's the piano
It's
tuner.
great.
Yeah.
He's the
He's
tuner.
the piano tuner.
He tuned our piano.
Yeah. She can get that information.
I apologize, I'm
No.
terrible with names.
No, I can't remember movie stars' names. Okay, anything else on that? Okay, gonna move to Art Walk.
The only thing I have going for Art Walk right now is, again, I've got the music handled.
Right.
So I have, Sal Monterano is going to come with his quartet duo thing and play for us. He is very excited. He's also sharing us on his multimedia
His page.
page and everything. And he drew quite a crowd. He brought in a lot of people for
Yeah.
Art Walk.
Yes.
So my big thing right now is to jump on getting artists.
Okay.
We want to fill up the space with more than just 5 artists. We want to fill it up. And from talking to Brittany, we would like to put more out in
Expand
the
out to
garden
the garden. Yeah.
and span out. And I know it is iffy with. I'm a little. Where's that water coming from? I just
No, it's the air conditioning.
air conditioner. I'm like, what is that noise? Sorry. I know September being iffy on weather, we'll have to work with that as we go. But yeah. So if anybody knows any
Art
artists,
Walk is September.
15.
And did the contact list from last year, who was in charge of reaching out to those artists from last year?
That was Anne.
Anne did it last year.
But I'm taking over on
Sure.
that.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to get a variety of different mediums. And I'm not gonna just I thought I would reach out to some of my other contacts from the, when I was on the art council and see if they would just do a demonstration even, possibly, of, across the board. Yes, we'll have some sales, but we don't do a tremendous amount of sales here. During that, but we did sell quite a bit we did sell the pictures to the house and books and other things.
Yeah.
So, and I see that we have books on down here on our future.
And the artist was out there painting as we speak, and things. That worked out really nicely.
So I'm hoping that it'll be similar.
Yeah.
But with more artists. So
Okay, so
again, if you know any friends
I
that
was
are
just gonna
artists,
say,
please
anybody's
contact
got
me and let me know.
ideas, speak up.
Please,
Don't
because
worry.
this is not just me. I would take all the help I can get.
You do have Anna's list.
Yeah, I've got a partial list. Yeah. So I
Is
thought
that something Brittany would have had?
no, it's a file that Anna
Okay.
gave me,
Oh,
and
okay.
I've got the list. But we
Okay.
had also decided that we didn't want to necessarily use
Go back.
the one place out on
Yeah,
Hygiene.
hygiene. Yeah, yeah.
hygiene. It was
Mhm.
just too
I loved it, but there was too much stuff.
too discombobulated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're just
The
gonna
red-
try to the red. I want to say
Red
red
door.
It's not the red door. It's the
Red roof or something.
Read something. Yeah.
I'm saying the red door. Which is
I go in there and wander around. I know where it is, but I don't even know it. Right. Okay, anything else on Art Walk? Okay, we're gonna move into new business, items from the staff.
Brittany has nothing to bring, although I was wondering, are we still chatting about the piano, or is that, did we take that off because it's just in the process? I just didn't see it here, so was that something we removed from the?
I think it was in the
Yeah,
process
it's
of moving
Yeah.
forward,
Yeah.
so we're just.
Yeah, if anything, we'll move it up to old business just to update ourselves on what's going on.
It feels like $1 million for that.
Yeah.
At this point.
Is it?
No.
No.
I'm like, what?
I thought you,
Costs that.
well,
Okay,
yeah,
well, they do.
It
They do
does.
add up.
it seems so
That's
simple and it isn't.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not, it's an
It's-
ongoing
Nothing made a
cost.
couch.
Yeah,
It's gonna be really nice.
Yeah, so.
When I was glad to.
that's great, yeah, but, yeah. Okay, I'll put that on for old business for next month. Anything else, Ben?
Nothing really work. I mean, all sorts of stuff going on, but
Right.
for you guys, budget is our big thing, my big thing in the last month. We're kind of done, we're doing some budget meetings. There's, what I'm being told is beyond necessities, don't like anything. I feel like I've heard that before, so. That's how we're going in. We've asked for better level. We have level 1 and level 2 is how we ask for numbers. Level 1 is things we can't control or costs that have grown. So we have some salary increases within temp salaries that go back to recreation budget. Actually, it doesn't affect Callahan budget itself. So we feel pretty comfortable with where Callahan budget is. Of course, we have the pointing in there.
Oh, that's the big question.
That's
Are we
the big
asking for the,
Yeah.
Always
are we
asking.
begging? We're begging for the money. I don't expect to get it, but is our begging point?
But you
That's
gotta
in
keep
there.
begging.
That's in
Yeah.
there.
Right.
We'll have a chance to, and I have to explain it each year.
Right.
What that means and what it is.
Is it submitted now?
Yeah, everything gets submitted in May, early May for the CIP projects, and at the end of May for all the other stuff, so.
Okay.
There's a big priority with transportation and housing. Don't you go there?
It's written in the charter, but when the city manager has to receive the budgets from each department, it's usually April, the end of
The end of May is the final
Yeah.
submission. We have our own timelines, obviously, to be able to get it up the giant.
Right. Exactly.
We are just, so you guys, we're hopeful of recreation to have some adjustments, and we're working on some other things with subsidy, which I've actually filled Sean in a little bit. I don't want to get too deep into that, especially on camera frame, but kind of working on where our subsidy is with the recreation, making some adjustments there, how to pay for things, do some things need to be subsidized, that are more community benefit. So we're working on some interesting things. I'll let you guys know.
Okay,
More
yeah. Keep us
interesting rather than a
Yeah,
Callahan kind of
right.
thing.
But
Exactly.
the big thing is that we do the ask, so then we can then put it back onto us to work on as a board to get grant funds.
Correct.
Yeah, and that means it shows that it's in there, and it's
Yes.
been in there consistently now for 5 years, I think.
Is it 5 or?
So, I think it is 5.
3, but you're
I
probably
think
right.
it's
It's
five.
been a
Oh,
while.
good, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
yeah.
get 2 years gone there, so.
So, one way or the other, we'll work this out.
Okay, so
It's been in there on a consistent basis, so, and not getting approved, so I think it's one of those,
we
definitely
can
want to be able to look out there and
look and see what we can do.
opportunities.
Maybe through the state or something, but we can look for a grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
good
all-
to
that's
know.
all I've got.
Thanks, Ben. Any items from the board?
Well, mine actually goes to the Callahan book rights reprint. I have been working diligently to track down
Oh,
her, and I even went to, so far, even going to the, her old homeowners association in the household, to try to get a recent number or
Yeah.
anything. I have had no luck.
they hide really well.
Well, she unfortunately, I do know, went into a retirement home.
Okay, that
And
makes
it's
sense.
under care of a nephew, and it's, the
Okay,
nephew seems to be under a separate name,
Right.
so trying to track that without, there's everything to do with confidentiality
Privacy.
and privacy rights. So it is not looking good that we are going to be able to track down her specifically to get the rights.
Sometimes these things go out of rights. My uncles were publishers, and they would do reprints of books that had gone out of print, and they would buy those. And some were just because people would want it, just like they would print it in the exact same format and bind it and everything in the same format as something like Uncle Tom's Cabin or something like this. It would look like an antique book, but it was brand new. And so somebody wanting to have something that looked like that in their library that looked antiquish with and everything and had exactly that. That's what had. I wonder if you checked a little further, if maybe city staff, specifically the legal department, would look into
Copyright.
seeing if it was out of copyright. If it
Yeah.
was, then there's no reason to bother with trying to chase it down with
exactly.
them.
It would be so much easier.
That
How
would be-
long has it
I hadn't
been
even
since-
thought about that.
I know, and we talked about this, and I just literally this moment, not earlier,
With your
about
packet.
that.
Like the book,
So-
yeah, so prices.
It just kept. I don't know why. Something.
Well, I loaned my copy of the book to our neighbor, so I don't have that copy right now.
Oh,
to look at the
yeah.
copyrights.
So I might have
Okay,
taken
bring
it
it
out.
on.
I don't know.
But if somebody has that copyright,
Yeah, but I don't have one.
that's a thing that.
That's an interesting point, thank you, Sean. Because if we can go that direction,
I hadn't
it takes a
even thought.
whole lot of,
Well, if they
no,
don't
I didn't
care.
realize it.
They're not making profit off this thing. This is not
Right.
them. And the nephew, if he brings it up, would be on pretty shaky ground.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to come back and go, oh my goodness, what?
yeah, I've got copyright on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
So will this tell us anything?
It might,
The
yeah.
dates that it was
First page or
published?
two.
Oh, 2001 copyright.
2001,
Uh-huh.
so it's
I
20,
bet
20 years.
20 plus years, and I don't know that it stays. I think there's a limit.
Who would know the answer to that?
It'll probably be.
Legal?
Well, it says without limiting.
We have attorneys that work for us, so.
So we can just submit a legal story, ask, we can look that up.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Without limiting the rights under copyright reserved above, no part of this publication may be reproduced, stored in, or introduced into a retrieval system or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, photographic, or otherwise, without the prior written permission of both the copyright owner and the above publisher of this book.
But if you have tried to do your due diligence, then that sort of thing goes away. And in 20 years, I would bet that there's.
Well, and we have done due
Yeah.
diligence, and we also have had prior permission when she gave us the book to begin with. So we would have some legal footing, I would think that we had permission. If nothing else,
It doesn't hurt to ask.
if
It doesn't hurt to ask.
it doesn't hurt, and then we could possibly add corrections, because we already know there's certain things in
That aren't quite correct, yeah.
She's not in the house anymore, is she? In Champion Greens,
It's been sold.
because it has to be addressed
Oh,
here.
I see.
It's been sold. I've tried to track her down in every which way I can.
What about, let's see, printed and Morel
And who printed that? Does it say
Morel Graphics.
Morel?
They've been out of business for
Oh,
years.
So there you
Okay,
go.
see, so you can't, it's impossible to get that. So that's what, would you look into that for us? Ben's gonna check it
There you go.
okay.
with the city.
The
Thank you.
copyright thing, yeah.
Yeah. And Sean, you said you
Well, yeah,
wanted to
if
talk
you want to
about,
put that as an item from council. Last night, we had Sarah Leonard of Visit Longmont come in. On their slideshow, they talked about how they wanted to look at a cultural aspect, literally in last night's meeting minutes. And on the live thing for council, her presentation was there. So my thought was that how I know Maureen has said talked about putting the QR codes in your garden and onto the house, and if those could get printed and put on, then you'd have going to your patrons and donations, that sort of thing, people clicking on those and realizing that they can come in here. But if they knew, as part of Visit Longmont, that you could go into the gardens and walk around the gardens. I mean, we just went to a place, we didn't do anything other than read their QR codes, literally in a area where it said this is where Druids had built stuff. In a pretty, I would not say Ireland is as developed as the United States on that level of things, and
yet that was there.
And that was there. That was right there with a presentation and everything. And
Yeah.
so the thing is that we certainly have the technology. I mean, we're one of the highest. We've got some of the highest population of technologically,
Adept
connected
people.
and adept
Yeah.
people in the country. I would think that we would be able to make some real headway if that. But making it clear, and I was going to also maybe talk to the folks over at the Hover Manor. I mean Hover House.
Saint Frank, for Saint Frank.
Because I don't think they're getting connected either. And if we could have groups that come in like they do for looking at the Stanley and just kind of doing that type of thing, it would be so great for us.
Well, we already know that Eric Mason does tours and stuff for the museum.
Yes.
And does things through the community. And we also have the East Side Historic Neighborhood that does walks and whatnot.
Jacoby, Dr. Jacoby.
Yes. But the big thing is to make sure that the Visitors Association and them are working together.
And that's what she
There's a
wants to
disconnect.
do. So if she's asking for it, let's give it to her.
Yeah.
Let's say, here you go.
Yeah.
and
Works
with
for us.
and art in public places was having these QR codes on different buildings and stuff like that too. Well, this is as artistic as you possibly could get in the form of a advanced Victorian level garden, or I would think for this area of the country to think that this popped up here out of the blue, and then the history associated with how Callahan helped Penny and Penny helped Wall, Sam Wall and others throughout time. That's pretty impressive. That the paying it forward sort of mentality is something that we can hang our hat on.
It's part of this history.
Do you think she'd be interested in participating in The club affair?
I think she would. I think it would just take an ask. What do you think?
Can you
Larry?
remind me of, is this the one that presented that you're asking
Yes.
about?
This is Sarah Leonard, and I've got her email and everything, so.
And what is her, does she have a company?
She's with what is
Visit
called
Longmont.
Visit Longmont.
Okay.
And so their email is S Leonard, LEONARD, @visit.longmont.org. It's Sarah with an SARA spelling. And their website is www.visitlongmont.org. And so I just thought of that and thought, wow, that is really such a connection that, and when I saw her slide that said she wanted to make those sort of connections, I thought of you guys first. And so, and that's one of the reasons I'm here today too, because I thought, I mean, she and I hadn't had the chance to talk about this after last night's meeting, getting over around 9:30, 9:45-ish.
Pretty early.
Yeah.
Sounds early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
well, I was out there,
was
yeah,
early.
we did last night, but anyway.
I'm sorry, would you repeat her email?
Yes.
Leonard@visitlongmont.org. Is it Longmont.org?
I don't,
Okay.
I couldn't write that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's,
I think it's probably up on the website too.
yeah,
We
yeah,
can get it out
and
too.
it's LEONARD, Leonard. And her first name spelling is SARA, but it's S Leonard.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sounds
Have
promising.
Brittany reach out to her.
Wasn't it?
I've been
Yeah.
kind of waiting to hear
Yeah,
for them getting going a little bit with her, because I was
Yeah.
on the hiring group with her. I
Yeah.
was very impressed with her. And
She's just new in the
She,
position.
this, as of this week, is a full year here.
Yeah, yeah.
Was she the one from Alaska?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if Brittany has reached out to her before.
You know, a couple of months ago, I feel like maybe it was before I went on maternity leave, so quite a while ago, we were talking about trying to make those connections.
We had tried to, I felt, I had mentioned that, I thought it was important that we work with the Visitors Association. and
Right.
do
Yeah,
some
that
of
was-
the things, because
We looked at for the
A long
last
time
year, so.
ago.
Okay, well, let's
I
revisit.
I
Yeah,
mentioned
sounds
Well,
great.
when we
people
were-
coming to Longmont and looking at various websites are gonna get information about one group of places to visit here and another group of places, but they don't have it all in one place.
That was
not
our
a
discussion.
Right.
was-
Yeah, that's exactly
was
it.
being more of different opportunities for clearinghouse
Yeah.
of places, and Visit Longmont being an opportunity like that to.
Because
Yeah,
that's
and I
exactly,
think Ricky was talking.
If I thought you were talking to somebody too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see where
Yeah, we'll
we're at.
revisit.
revisit.
Well, it's funny because Aaron Fosdick from the Longmont Area Economic Group was talking about how those sort of things too. So they were there together giving, Aaron gave her presentation about the economic development of Longmont and how they talked about the recreation and they talked about, you know, other aspects of Longmont. And then they talked about, Sarah did her presentation, and that was kind of nice to see those two tied hand in hand because they
Yes.
were just at the right time, especially for, you know, some of your goals.
Cool. Yeah, so we'll revisit that. Anything else on any of those items from the board? Future agenda items, we already visited this camera board. Future restoration and preservation, I don't. When Brittany and I corresponded, she didn't have anything and I didn't have anything, so.
I think.
Without Karen here.
Well, I think, well, we do have that list,
Yes.
our list, or our ongoing list of things that we
Right.
would like to see. But I think the big thing with the future restoration and preservation, we need to be looking at grants. Particularly, Ben, thanks for the awareness that has been listed for 5 years. So we have asked for money, we're gonna get the money,
So let's start looking and
Start.
asking for somebody else for the money to work on the repointing, and then we can look at the other projects behind it, because we do have an up and coming list of things that we would like to do. So I think we need to talk about putting it on the agenda.
Did you say having someone else provide the funding, like through a grant or something?
I think we're gonna have to look at different avenues to get funding for them.
We'll put that.
Yeah, the 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 stuff.
New
you know,
business.
That's an area we have some flexibility and we've been doing things on a consistent basis, which is great. But the items we talk about 100 or more $1,000.
But we knew when we were gonna ask for it, that we were gonna get turned down. I mean, really,
Well,
technically, it was somewhat of the goal
They-
to prove that we've been doing this.
the managers, Harold understands that, I mean, it has to get done.
Yeah.
There's a point it has to get done. They
Yes.
do recognize that this is not one of the, it's not a want, it's a need. We can't tell you exactly when that need is, but we've been told there is a need. We had Kevin look at it, he agrees that it's time to do it from what I, not necessarily this week or even next year, but it needs to get, it's time.
Oh,
It's time.
But maybe we could find a similar thing in which we came up with funds with this state, where we had to have a partnership between the city and the state to come up with money. So I think it needs to be put at least on the new business for discussion.
Exactly.
Again, it's not gonna be an overnight fix.
No.
Oh, if we just only had those lawns.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to let it work its way out, but we're pretty much beyond that. Okay, is there anything else anybody wants to bring up? I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move that we adjourn. I'll second.
All in favor? Who's not in favor of that?